Off. Hello, good evening. It is Wednesday.
You can hear yourself?
I could hear like the thing.
I couldn't hear myself.
That's good for you. Good evening. What a start. The 8th of January. It's absolutely freezing. The biggest question I want to ask is, how many coats tomorrow night?
Well, I bought a new coat.
Ah, okay.
No one even knew. No one even mentioned it when I came in. No one even mentioned it, which is fine.
Apology, I haven't.
That's fine. That's fine.
I've probably been doing stuff when you've come in and you've took it off. Very nice. Is it warm?
I think you were just sitting there ready. No, in video games where you like power up, like, and then you like explode the power. So there's like that. There's certain button. That's what you were like when I came in. You were like powering up, ready to just go Hadouken, basically. And you were Duganed yourself all over the gaff.
Fair play. So, is your coat gonna be ample?
It's amply warm.
That's good.
It's amply warm
Because it is gonna be absolutely freezing cold.
Yeah, but
-3.
I'm going for a 9k run tonight, so.
I know, but at the match, do you run? You haven't mentioned it.
Well, I haven't this year. So
you haven't mentioned it.
So I just thought I'd drop it in.
Fairness,
Still to drop it in. Do you run in the cold? Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, you need to be careful out there. It's slippy and freezing.
Did 13k on Sunday.
Yeah, but it was crunchy on Sunday.
Yeah.
Tonight it's like slippy freezy.
Okay, slippy freezy.
Yeah, the technical term.
It's what, you know, if the weathermen had just said things like that, then that's...
I think more people would watch
exactly
the weather.
Terminology needs to be on the same level as the average person. And if it's not, then how would the average person ever know? That's what I say. James, why have you turned that light off?
James, he hasn't even turned it off. He
James,
broke the
you
light.
broke the light.
How's that broke?
Have you unplugged something? Okay. James just breaking things.
Fair play.
It is club call. You can give us a call if you want to voice your opinion on anything going on. There's like loads going on, but nothing going on at the same time, isn't there?
It's been titled Our Hopes for 2025.
I love.
What a James title.
What are your hopes for 2025, Baz?
That
in terms of Everton, like obviously.
Oh, Everton.
Because I know the first thing is you want to finish Jedi Survivor. That's your number one priority.
I don't want to finish it because I'm enjoying it.
Oh, that's always the.
That's the threat.
That's always the threat, isn't it? Yeah.
That GTA 6 comes out.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
No hope for that one.
I don't think it is. James just broke the light. He broke it.
It's gone.
It's gone. James,
I didn't even know they could break. Certainly not this quick into the life.
The lights are on, but it's not home. So,
is it just turned down or is it on
just
standby mode? Or is it...
Hey! Oh, hang on, son. Hang on, son.
Right.
Hang on. We're not doing this show from the edge of the sun. Can you just turn that down just a touch?
Slight.
My God, man. Nah. No, you haven't turned it down. You've literally done that. There you go.
That's better. John says, as Ped forked out for a dry rope.
No, dry robes are for absolute... No, I won't even say what dry robes are for, but honestly...
When you get up the...
I genuinely think if you see someone walking down the street in a dry robe, you should be allowed to go over and have a stern word with them.
Yeah, but what if they just got out of the swimming pool?
What? Just got out of the swimming pool or some fresh water by my house?
Might be doing like the Wim Hof experience at the moment. Just
so
like
let's get this right. Dry robes are for people getting out of a body of water. They are essentially coats which are really just towels, right? It's a way of wearing your towel in a convenient way. You put it on, it's a dry robe to get you to your car and stuff or whatever. They are not for going the matching, the supermarket in, or anywhere else like that. They do. I've seen someone sat near me in one, and I just looked at them the entire game. It was more entertaining, I must admit. Thinking, you must stink. You are wearing a towel.
That doesn't mean they stink.
Yeah, but it's just pure like towelness on them, isn't it? For like
stink, it might smell lovely. They might have put like fabric conditioner on it.
I don't think they did, because I think if you're wearing one of them, you don't think of those things. You just think, okay, I'll be warm. Dry robes should be banned anywhere within a certain distance of open water. So if you're in a certain distance, it's fine. But once you get to like a parameter, so no, like in a video game where it's like it's supposed to be like open world, but there's like things stop you. There's a wall
until it's open.
You know what I mean? There should be real things like that which stop people in a dry robe when they get to a certain area away from a body of water. There should be an invisible wall just stops them.
Like on Ghosts when they can't leave.
Yeah,
where, like the thing.
They're not coats. They're not coats. And if you're wearing one of those camouflage ones, how do we even know you're wearing it?
That is a good point. Okay. I want to welcome Christopher Ammons and Richo66, who are YouTube members. Mark Cochran says pure towelness.
It is pure towelness, isn't it?
There you go. Listen, so your hopes for 2025 are not to encounter too many dry robes out and about. Okay,
I think, but it's not just to encounter them. It's just for people themselves to understand what dry robes are and go and buy proper coats, because they're just not proper coats. And also, it's got written on it in the back, dry robe. Like, who's buying a coat that says what it is on the back of it? That's not good.
Harrison, the Peyton Premier, is better to join of the two. Steve P says, I refuse to believe people actually go out in public in a dry robe.
They do. I've seen them.
Paul says, Gary Birtle said dry robes are fine.
Well then if Gary Birtle said it, then it must be some kind of thing.
There you go.
Maybe they were a thing 40 years ago. Or maybe people just...
Like when Duncan Goodhue was wearing it, he got out the pool.
They were just towels then that someone had fashioned into a coat. Someone went, I've just swam the channel. Throw on me coat.
On me dry robe.
Coat robe.
JL23 wants Eden Terzic. Booty says Josie from Manager. Seen someone else saying Moyes mentioned. Sam Allardyce, someone said.
What about Paulo Fonseca?
What
about Paulo Fonseca?
Let's get him. Available.
He almost feels like a perfect candidate. If you forget the fact that he was sacked about 10 days ago, which is the same as what happened with Carlo, by the way, wasn't it? But he almost feels like the perfect candidate. He ticks so many boxes.
He's won 12 games as Milan manager, drew 6 and lost 6 and got sacked.
That's a great record compared to ours.
That's unbelievable. His win ratio's just under 53% across his career. Very good. Attacks.
Good head of hair.
Great head of hair. Once for a Zorro mat.
Very black hair, so it doesn't get stressed out.
So, do we?
We just put it in the ether.
James Graham says Deitch likes a dry robe. He is, of course, Paulo Fonseca available as well now. So, there you go. David Rice says Josie's been spotted at the Pound Bakery. I never liked to dismiss rumours, but I don't think he has. I think he's in Turkey.
And I don't think he'd go to a Pound Bakery. I don't know. I just don't think he would.
Elias is in the comments, says Brazilian Toffee here. Is right, Elias? Is right. Potter is going to West Ham, Eugene. That's why they've sacked Lopetegui. We won't be going for Lopetegui. That's for sure. Mind you, who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows? What about Sir Gareth South, soon to be Sir Gareth?
This is the debate we've been having that has been raging in the studio / office all afternoon. Is this would be? There's only, I think, been one other manager knighted in our lifetime. That was, of course, Sir Alex Ferguson. But could you bring in a manager who's done absolutely zero in the game and got knighted for being a failure into your club and call him Sir on a regular basis? Because, like, what would you have to curtsy for him at press conferences, or
you'd have to.
My liege, what?
Kiss the ring.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened other places. But would he go, oh, Sir Gareth? No, don't call me Gareth. Just Sir. I'm not feeling...
I don't know whether he's like that.
I'm not feeling that. Unless he just uses the title to maybe get a range of waistcoats out in Marks and Spencer's. A new range. The Sir Gareth range.
With a little Everton tower on it?
No, you're looking long term, aren't you?
He should be looking.
You're looking long term. You're looking past that.
Let's be honest.
Right, we've got Sharpie. Let's get Sharpie on.
Max in it.
Yeah.
Sharpie, good evening. Happy New Year. What do you want to say?
I can't hear anything. Go on, Sharpie.
All good. We're all good, yeah?
We're good.
Happy New Year to you, lads. Good to chat to you again. It's been a while.
Good man.
Yeah, it was the whole takeover thing, right? It's all done and dusted. It's official now. Everything's all done. Your takeover's officially happened, right? It's done. So you got to tell me, what the hell are we waiting for? What's the delay in getting a new manager in? What's going on? Come on now.
I was hoping you were going to tell me
Well,
maybe
well, I don't know. I don't have any connections to Everton. I just thought you know way more about
but
what will be going on.
maybe they don't feel they need to replace the manager.
Okay. Well, that's concerning, wouldn't you say? The fact if they believe if they're happy with him, that's really concerning.
I'm not saying that is definitely the case. I'm just throwing it back to you, saying maybe they don't believe there's an issue. Maybe they believe 3 wins in 19 is good. 15 goals in 19 games is good. 11 games without a goal of the 19. I don't know. Maybe they are speaking to somebody and it isn't tied up yet. So therefore, they haven't made a decision. Who knows? Maybe they'll give the manager another 3 games and see how I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
I have no idea.
It's even before they'd taken over, right? I mean, they knew they were coming into control. Surely they would have had someone lined up, wouldn't they? If they knew that was. I'm sorry, I'm getting a background noise here. I'm not sure what's going on. Can you hear that?
Just mute the other person, James. Go on, keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, surely it made good business sense to have someone lined up, wouldn't it, in this scenario?
Pat.
Yeah. Thanks, Pat. No, of course it would. Of course.
No.
No. Of course it would. It would have. It would have. If you genuinely feel like this is not the guy to take us forward, then you should have had that person lined up now. But maybe that person, I mean, maybe it was Graham Potter. Maybe they thought Graham Potter was the person, and then West Ham come into the equation, and maybe we forced West Ham's hand because we were in the equation. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying these things out of any kind of knowledge. I'm just saying you would like to think that. I think you would. You know. It all comes down to I honestly think that anyone coming into this situation might have looked at it and gone, if we can get through to the end of the season, we can make better decisions because we can go out and have more time, get people into the club. A CEO can, the CEO situation's getting sorted right now. It's in the hands of a firm. They're looking for someone now. Whether that person's been found, and we have, whether the person's working their leave or is on gardening leave, we don't know. But CEO could come in. That's your person at the club. I'm in many ways, I'm more a little bit annoyed about that. That I know it's only a couple of weeks. But like you said, they've had 6 months, and Everton's problems are pretty big. Like it's not just a new owner coming in. A new owner coming in doesn't solve everything. Shifting the debt off the club, onto getting the debt sorted via JP Morgan is good, but it doesn't solve our problems. It doesn't win us more games of football, and ultimately that's all football's really about, isn't it? Winning games of football. And that starts with getting the CEO sorted straight away. It means getting the director of football's future sorted straight away, and that leads you on to the manager, and that leads you on to the players. And those things have to be done. It's if Everton were in, say, where West Ham are, you wouldn't be worried that much, would you? You'd be sitting there going, we're all right, we're fine, we'll get through the end of this season, everyone will feel a bit better. But there's things, isn't there, that we need to immediately address, and they are whether Everton are going to stay in the Premier League and players and the future of the manager and the director of football. And it just feels like, people might have a different opinions, but it doesn't feel like much has changed.
There doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency at all, does there?
No, there doesn't.
It's bloody worrying. I've got to say, it's like you said, I think there's many fans that are saying that we'll be all right, blah, blah, blah. But time's ticking. There's points picking up points in the Premier League. It's pretty hard as it is, and especially the way we are at the moment, we just can't score any goals. I actually even nodded off during that Bournemouth game. That was a first. That was just truly awful. But I wanted to ask. So the news has come out today about Potter joining. Looks like he's joining West Ham. Now, I'm wondering if I've got a real sense of that we're missing out here. I think he would have been really good for us. With his work that he did at Brighton, And I just really think he would have done well for us. And in fact, I think that's what we talked about in our last chat at the end of last season. Do you have that sense that we're missing out not getting him, or are you not that bothered?
Go on, Baz.
I think Graham Potter potentially could have changed Everton. I think I like the way he did it at Brighton. My opinion is people don't give him enough credit for what he did at Brighton.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean he could have easily done it here, and it definitely would have worked here. Of course, he was a little bit of a gamble because, there's no guarantee, is there? But there's no guarantee with anybody. But I like the way he used the younger players. I like the way he changed the way they played. But doesn't necessarily mean it would have worked here, and it doesn't mean there isn't other managers out there that we could have got. But
we don't know. We don't know, do we? But I mean, like I say, he's got Premier League experience, and we know that's key. But I don't know. I just really think we're going to miss out on him. I think West Ham. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes West Ham to another level. I just think he's a solid. Also, I watched him on that high performance interview, and he came across really well. As you'd imagine, he was really good. Of course, we don't know, but it would have been. I think it would have been nice to have seen him in the position. No.
Yeah, but listen, Everton got themselves into a position where they could have made him the manager.
Yeah.
In November, in December, and a couple of days ago, and they haven't. So you have to look at it, Ped, on our live at lunchtime. Ped said maybe they've got something else going on in the background, and that's why they weren't ready to go all in on him. And if that's the case, fine, no problem with that. I think he was more a favourite of Farhad Moshiri and Kevin Thelwell. I think they were, if it would have been up to them still, I think then he'd be the Everton manager now. But maybe TFT have got someone else.
Yeah, well, let's hope they've got something else lined up. I think we're going to miss out on him. Anyway, go back to the game. The other day, I know that with regards to the goal, I wanted to talk to you about the goal that we conceded. And I know that we're all big fans of Branthwaite. Of course we are. He's an exceptional talent who's going to go and do very well in his career. Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of got a feeling on your after the match listening to you, you're going quite easy on him. I thought that was a really bad thing that he did duck in that. Surely as a defender, the bottom line is if you can get your head on it or block it or whatever, you should do it. In hindsight, do you think you were a little bit sort of easy on him?
No, because I honestly don't know what was going through his mind. I know what you're saying.
Got to clear the ball. Just got to clear the ball.
But the thing about it is, we're getting a perspective that I don't know what the perspective is he's getting. He for all I know, he mightn't have been able to even have done anything. He might have reacted in a split second.
Why would you duck? Why would you duck a ball that's going on?
I know what you're saying, but maybe he didn't duck. Maybe in it just looked like...
It does look weird.
It's a weird action, but I can't say for... That's what I mean. I can't say that he ducked, because I don't know if he ducked. I don't know if he ducked. He might have tried to move his body and it mightn't have happened. I don't know. I don't think it's not bad defending. It's a reaction. I think if it was bad defending, like Mikalenko, that's bad defending. But Branthwaite, I don't get why he did what he did, because I just don't get what he did. I can't say it was terrible defending, because I don't know if it was terrible. He should header it away, or he should let it hit him. He should do something to block that ball, but I don't know what he was trying to do.
Explain what he
exactly. I can't explain it, and I always feel like if I can't explain something, then I don't know what. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know if it's giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I suppose it is. But it's just I don't know. I found it really weird, by the way, Sharpie. I found it really strange. The action was he should have made himself as big as possible.
That's right, and he
made himself small. So I honestly don't know what went through his mind. But on the same token, that's where I'm like, what you have to just you know what I mean? You question it, don't you?
Kind of, and as in my youth, I played centre half, and it was you just do anything you can to block.
Yeah,
to block
you're
that
right.
ball going
You're
in.
Absolutely right.
To block going in, and these, of course, this is not in worried about like flailing arms and giving away penalties and things like that. So it's for me from that kind of sort of purist point of view. I'm just sort of thinking, what could possibly have been going on?
No, I agree, mate. I agree with you, mate.
And I'm trying, and I would say that about anybody who would do that, and not just because it's Branthwaite and he's been brilliant for us. So from the angles I've seen, and it just like, what are you doing?
Absolutely.
He's better than that. He's way better than that, and he is a classic centre half in a traditional way by the way he plays. So that's even more surprising, I think, that he would have done something like that.
Yeah. He's still young. Listen, he's still very, very young, isn't he? Yeah, still very, very young, and hasn't played lots and lots of games. So I always feel like he's learning with every game he plays, and he'll make mistakes. We said this last year. He'll still make mistakes. He's only played probably a dozen games this season so far. So if that, so we'll
put it down as a learning lesson. Maybe that one for him.
Absolutely.
Right, before I just sign off, I just wanted to quickly ask you, because this is driving me nuts. So I was watching, I think it was like the Stick to Football, the interview with Chiellini, the Italian defender. I'm not sure if you saw that one.
Yeah,
well, it's pretty good, and he was like talking about the Premier League and how it's classed as the best in the world. Do you think the Premier League is the best? Because and I'm asking you this because I don't watch other leagues to compare with. I'm sure you guys do. Do you really think the Premier League is the best in the world?
I'll be honest, right? I don't watch a lot of the other leagues.
Right, it's difficult to compare then. Okay.
So but what I would say is, I suppose the best way to analyse it is the quality in the Champions League, possibly. But then I think Spain used to be obviously the best league. I don't think Italy's the best league, but competitiveness, it seems to have a really decent level. Germany's obviously has its ups and downs, depends on how good Bayern are that year. And Spain, I don't know, I think Spain is, I suppose it comes down to how many teams can beat the big teams. I don't know. I don't think Real Madrid and Barcelona get tested that much. So,
well, that's what I mean about sort of like the number of teams. It would be interesting for middle of the table teams in the Premier League to play middle table teams in Spain and Italy to get some kind of idea.
Yeah.
Would the bottom teams in the Prem, would they beat like Europe chasing teams in Spain and Italy? I think what I'm trying to say is I've watched a few sort of Premier League games and I'm just thinking this is rubbish. And this is the best league in the world. Are you having a laugh? It's sort of
I think it's the most hyped league.
Yeah, well, that's what makes
you think. Yeah, maybe you're saying, Baz, that there's a lot talked about it and it's overrated. Maybe
it depends how you qualify it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're talking about technical ability, it's nowhere near the best league in the world.
Right.
Nowhere near it. Our team is testament to that.
Right.
But if you're talking about competitiveness, I don't know. It's definitely marketed the best in the world. And it's got some of the best players in the world. And it's the most overrated league in the world as well, for sure.
I mean, it's definitely not the most entertaining, is it?
No, it's dreadful.
But that's what I'm saying. If you watch, say, maybe Italian football, you probably find the level's a lot more equal. So therefore, there's more entertainment in it if you like that style. And also comes down what you like, isn't it? What kind of style of football you like.
Well, we want to be entertained, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's different kinds of entertainment, isn't there?
What's the Premier League then?
There's different kinds of football, isn't there?
Yeah.
Some people like teams who play 100 passes. Some teams like who does loads of goals. Italy used to always be looked at for brilliant defending. I don't necessarily think that's there anymore. I think it's more about, there's more, not that some players are not as good, but I think when they're not as good, sometimes that can bring the level to a more consistent level.
I love watching MLS, and that's nowhere near the best league in the world. But I love watching it because it's entertaining. All the teams, really, to see a team go and try and do what Everton do. And which is just play for a 0-0 draw. So it's always entertaining. It's always loads of goals. But
Right.
the level's not as, obviously the talent level isn't as good as other leagues in Europe, but it's really entertaining. Loads of goals, loads of attack and play. Depends what you want to watch.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, lads. Good chatting to you. I'll
Nice
let you
one.
go. It looks like you got Mark Chapman there waiting for you. So
Okay.
yeah, have a good one, lads.
Nice one.
Have a
See
good
you
one. All the
later.
best.
Ta-ra,
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra, mate. There you go.
Okay, who've we got next, James?
Don't know, he's on the phone.
I can hear the phone ringing. Maybe it is Chappers. Dennis. Okay, Dennis, good evening. Okay.
I can't hear him, though.
No. Hello, Dennis.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now, Dennis. Yeah. Good evening. What do you want to say, mate?
Sorry about that. I'd got it on silent, the phone. Sorry,
Sorry,
lads.
It's okay.
Don't
It's
worry.
fine.
Just want to say I've been trying to get through for a while. I love the show. My wife
Cheers,
goes
mate.
mad because I'm permanently on it. She's-
Apologies to your wife.
Yeah, well, I'm a Wirral squirrel. I moved up to Nottingham. I live in Nottingham now, so
Oh,
I
okay.
travel up to the home games every day. I've seen Ped quite a few times because I'm in the Gladys Street, Lower Gladys Street. I've said hello to John. I've just not seen you, Baz. But
Just wait around
let's see
2
if I do
minutes.
see you. Yeah.
I'm 2 minutes to kick off, mate. That's when I get it.
Yeah, well, I get there late sometimes. But anyway, my first point is I'm about sick and done with the negativity. I can't. It's like I remember somebody saying a while back on the show about. I think I always love listening to him. He's very articulate. He said something about. I always forget his name, and he said you need counselling to be an
Dave.
Everton fan.
Dave
Yeah.
Feely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's right, and I don't think what's going on at the moment is helping in any way whatsoever.
No.
I didn't know what I was thinking yesterday. I didn't know whether I wanted Potter. I didn't know whether I didn't want Potter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard you guys talk now, so I won't ask you again. But what's going to happen? Are we going to get a manager? You guys sometimes are in the know before us, or you get an inkling of what's going on, or what is going on. Have you got anything that you can say?
I just feel like we're in the Ten Hag stage, really, where everyone knows it's coming, and it's. But I couldn't say when, Dennis. I literally we were given sort of a push on Monday that it was likely to happen in the next sort of 24, 48 hours, and it hasn't happened. So is that because something else has presented itself? I think the manager's sort of demeanour yesterday and some of the things he said pointed to the fact that he sort of expects to leave now. But I wouldn't know. I don't know certainly when it's going to be and who it's going to be at this stage. But I know me and Ped we were having some might say conversation at dinner time.
That makes it sound
I had
like
a little rant and Ped,
Yeah.
Ped calmed it down. Which can tell you that not all is right.
It's gone the other way now. It's gone from Ped being the lunatic to you, Baz. So
I've got think of a glass that fills, and my glass is full. 4 years of shite has just overflowed.
been thrown at the wall.
But
I do sympathise with you.
I'll replenish it. No, listen, I think personally, I don't know what Ped thinks, but I think I'll be surprised if Sean Dyche is Everton's manager at the end of January.
Right, so this
not a lot before. That's my take.
I think this is where I am right now, and I think this is where Baz is that I think we both agree, and I think James, put a poll in the comments, please. How many people believe we need a new manager? Word it nicely. I think most people believe we need a new manager. I was listening sometimes on the way home. I'll put like Radio Merseyside on and listen to it, and you have. I always think, as you just said there, sometimes you don't know whether you are thinking the same way as other people. But I think most people agree now that Sean Dyche should not be the Everton manager. Like, Saturday's performance was so terrible and was so lacking in ideas that I think most people believe that now. There might be some people who don't believe that, and that's fine. I'm not digging out anybody. So that leads me to believe that there has to be some kind of course of action now. Bazza thinks the way he's thinking is the Potter, maybe, coming in, that you get your hopes up that something's going to change. It gets you feeling a bit more positive about the next few games. And then that's taken away from you. So, of course, it's going to drag you down, isn't it? You've been handed something and you think this will be all right because that's a decent manager. I'm trying to stay positive in the way of thinking maybe there's something else. Maybe they weren't going for Potter. And maybe they are looking at someone else. Because one of the debates we've been having amongst ourselves when we had this earlier on the 1 o'clock show on Premier was, I don't want Sean Dyche to be sacked if there's not a manager like West Ham have demonstrated today lined up. I think we've done that the last couple of times and it's dragged on and we've lost the window because of that. We've basically Lampard on the last day. Oh yeah, there's Delhi and there's another no mark from Man United and we've ended up with nobody. I want a situation where I couldn't care less if we're negotiating behind the back of the manager. Sean Dyche, let's not forget, came in when he was getting negotiated with. So for me, I just want this manager to be gone when hopefully the next manager's ready to come in. And if that takes a few more days, then we go through this cup game tomorrow, then I'm willing to just be, turn to number 4. I ain't going to 11 till someone says to me, oh no, we're not looking at a manager, and then I'll have a problem, because if we ain't looking for another manager, and the manager right now said it yesterday, we are insane. We are insane if we're not looking for another manager, because this guy, 3 wins in 19, that's terrible. That is literally just, you can't. How can anybody make any excuses for this guy? You get ex-players on TV or on radio who do not want to say it, because we all know. And an ex-pro told Baz this week that you're just not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to utter the words, he should be sacked, basically on TV or radio. You can make excuses for like this and that, but you're basically not allowed to say they should be sacked. And we can. We as Everton fans, we don't accept 3 wins in 19 in half a season. Like, I literally can never ever remember in my, ever.
I don't know about insane. You, but when I'm sat there in the ground, I go there. It's a chore. Go in there for me now, because it's a 2.5 hour drive.
Of course.
3 hours sometimes. And I get there and I just, at the start of the season, I thought, right, few signings. The squad looks a little bit better. And as soon as from the first game, I just went, Christ, we've got another 6 months of this.
Yeah.
And I was panicking then. I was thinking, nothing's changed.
No.
The way he plays has not changed.
No.
Can we say this, Dennis? Can we say that it doesn't mean, things just have natural shelf lives, don't they? Some managers it might be. I think I said it yesterday. Just, you start wondering whether Pep's at the end of his shelf life at City. I'm not saying he is. And he's a fantastic manager and they've got great resources and he's got great players. But some managers just whatever it is, it just comes to the end. That might be, for some managers, Lopetegui, it was 5 months. Other managers, it could be a year. The average Premier League tenure is 13 months. Yeah. Some managers, it might be 4 years, whatever. It just comes to the end. Doesn't mean...
So if that's sorry to interrupt, Baz.
Yeah, go on.
If that's the case, when we played Bournemouth,
yeah,
I mean, I was shell-shocked for 80 minutes of that game, because I thought, where's this come from? Why? How did they play that type of football? And then I know Ped said that he panicked, basically. He went back into his shell.
Yeah.
So the players can play football.
Yeah.
It's not like they can't play football.
Yeah.
He's a dinosaur of a coach. He's got one way of playing, and he can't change the way he plays. And that's why, and the method, the meaning of madness, you keep doing the same thing every day, week in, week out, and the outcome's the same. And that's what it is with him. But
Yeah.
I can't understand why the director of football has not sat him down and said, look, your game's up. I think, he should have done it. Well, he should have done it weeks ago, not now. And that's what I don't get. Those players, and you guys have said this as well, they look like they're giving up because they know how they're being asked to play is not right. They don't agree with it. Apparently, Pickford was caught saying something coming off the pitch on Saturday or something.
He was.
And this is what I don't get. No. Any other team in this league would have sacked the manager by now.
I think, the Bournemouth game's a really good indicator because the Bournemouth game, the first one, we played so well and there were positives to take out of that game. You take that game in isolation and say, you know what, the last 10 minutes, there was the manager messed up, the players messed up, we made mistakes, but you go, we made mistakes. You don't go, that's it. That's it. I'm not. We went to Villa the following week or whatever, and the week after, because the international break, we got 2-0 up, and then different circumstances, we ended up losing that game. But there seems to be, since that Bournemouth game, an idea of just, we aren't going to play like, I'm not letting that happen again. Let's go back into our shell, defend like crazy, even though a big reason for that game, losing goals, was not having Branthwaite in the team. Michalenko's really shaky start of the season. Not making changes, I know. But we didn't have, but what I'm saying is we didn't have Branthwaite. And that makes a huge difference. So instead of saying this defence will organically get better because Branthwaite will come back, he just went, we're never doing that again. We're never going to try and play good football again. And he just went back into his shell. So there's no kind of patience there. And to me, all those things, you add them together, and I find it incredible that he is still a manager. I really do. And people supporting him, I mean, not fans, because fans can get emotionally attached. And as Baz said there, he's done well to keep us up last season. At the end of the season, I would have just let him go personally. I would have brought Moyes back. That we said that last season. That's on the record. I would have done that at the time. But when ex-pros are coming out going, there's no one better. See, I don't agree with that, because one of his statements as well is that, and I think he might have said this on one of those podcasts, was, when things are going bad, I think what would a new manager coming in do? Whereas I've seen no change.
There hasn't been anything.
He hasn't brought any new coaches in. He was asked about coaches and he starts talking about bloody John Robertson and Gary Bartels, and I just find that that just inflames the fan base. So you're adding fuel to the fire that's already there. And I find those things. I think yesterday's press conference, he was a little bit more savvy in what he said. I think he knows. Because he knows he's hanging on by his fingernails. But I think when he said, I'm working as bloody hard or something, it was like the equivalent of what they used to do. The MPs used to bang the desks in to show they cared, or when they roll up their sleeves to go and visit an NHS hospital. It's that, it's so I don't get it, but I've got to try and think positive for a little bit and think that there's something going on behind the scenes, because if I don't think like that, I will drive myself mad, and the minute I start driving myself mad, you'll all get it. So
true.
Well,
I just think you try absolutely everything when things aren't working, don't you? And you know what the biggest indicator for me, Dennis, is when other fans say to you, like, I done that overlap the other weekend. People weren't taking the piss, which has happened in the past because Everton are struggling. Do you know what I mean? They were saying, oh my God, I feel for you. How can you have him as your manager?
The Bournemouth fans singing.
And I'm like,
the Bournemouth fans singing on Saturday should be the end of them. That should be the end of them. That's another team. It's Bournemouth, for God's sake. I don't care how well they're playing, how good the manager is and all the new owners. It's Bournemouth. Honestly, then you claim it's the Cherries. Get a fuck. Right.
Cherries are good for you.
Of course they are, with your mad nuts.
Hey. Don't body shame.
I'm not body shaming. We're talking about a club that doesn't ever really do anything. Right, but they're doing brilliantly, and I respect.
I wish we played
respect.
that.
No, fair play to you.
No.
But when fans who probably turn up and just do a bit of clapping and stuff are singing out, it's not even like it wasn't like a horrible chant either. It was like It was like, it was almost equivalent of going, I feel sorry for you.
John said he was with a couple of Bournemouth fans at the end of the game, and they were saying to him, we feel for you so much. This is Everton Football Club. How can you like accept that? Yeah. And that's when you start going, I mean, you know, because normally you stick your chest out if things aren't going right. You go, hang on, you don't want. We were crap on Saturday, but I don't think most Evertonians wouldn't go and find a problem with that by being able to say we're not crap all the time, because we're all apathetic.
Go on, Dennis. Any more to add? You've muted yourself.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute now. No, you're still muted.
Can you do it?
Are you not? Have you muted them? I don't know what's
Come on, Big Dennis. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Dennis.
Have you definitely not muted yourself? He's saying no.
Okay. Is it definitely not coming through? All right, we'll have to let you go, Dennis, because we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Good points. Nice one. Come back if you get it back. See you later. Cheers, Dennis.
Right, Mike Cosgrove just messaged me with a picture of his son wearing a dry rope. Right, but it's allowed because I can tell he's at some kind of swimming event.
No, well that's acceptable
because of the picture he was really taking.
Yeah, that's acceptable because he's swimming.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, David Murphy on the super chat says I'm dying inside. This man, Sean Dyche, is giving me an ulcer. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I think a lot of Evertonians just want to see something different, and it's okay to say, look, he's done a good job. Even if you love the man, he's had a job in probably one of the most difficult times in Everton's recent history, hasn't he? He's been at the club, but we forget about everything else. 3 wins in 19 is unacceptable.
You said it before. Managers have to reinvent themselves. Sir Alex Ferguson did it. We said this every 3 or 4 years. Pep's going to have to do it now. He's waited too long. Klopp basically decided that he couldn't reinvent himself because he's too tired. That's why he quit. He quit basically because he knew he'd have to go again, and he hasn't got the energy, and he admitted that, didn't he? Fair play to him for doing that and getting out. We have seen absolutely no signs this season that Sean Dyche can reinvent himself because he's done nothing. He just plays the same team week in and week out, and it plays the same style. And when that style continues to get worse and worse and worse, and the goals start to drop off more and more and more, it only leads you to one place. And for him,
we haven't scored in 11 of our 19 games, and we got 4 of them.
Our top goal scorer in the last 10 games doesn't play for us.
That's correct. That is correct. Maybe sign him in the window.
Why not? Who have we got?
Well, before we go over, Posh Matty says, I saw a family of dry robes at Western Burt National Arboretum the other week. Lots of trees.
An arboretum?
Lots of trees, but no water in sight, and it wasn't even raining.
Did they stink? I just can't get how you can walk around in a glorified towel and not stink.
Because it might be clean.
But it's not clean, it's a towel.
Okay.
It's a towel. It takes moisture off you. It's going to stink.
Matt Gibson says, even at all, sorry to be negative, but here we are. I imagine there's no plan B, as there was barely a plan A. Otherwise, he'd be gone. So we're stuck with this clown and we'll run the risk of relegation instead. Decisive, X. Visible and present, X. Communication, X. A big decision, X. Manager addressed, X. Doff addressed, X. CEO addressed, X. It's like Mashiri was here. Pathetic start.
Can I just say one thing? No, one thing. Can I just add a sprinkle of positivity? Everton women have just signed their 4th player since they took over.
Great. There you go then. There you go.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Gary Ward wants a new manager before the end of January. And Dick L's in the comments.
Okay, that's acceptable.
Dick L says, I don't understand why we are delaying. Dyche is done. He's getting booted one way or the other. Wolves have a new manager. West Ham are getting Potter. Why are we just sitting here doing nothing, slowly sliding towards the Championship? Only said, like only Dick L can say.
Well, only like you could say.
Well, in Dick L.
Channeling Dick L.
It's channeling Dick L. Should be a programme on Channel 5.
Channeling Dick L.
Kevin Rex says, "Oh my God, Ped, I can't tell you how much I love your rants about dry ropes."
I mean, I think these are the things that actually are.
Graham's ruined it. Dry ropes are tainted with skid marks. Well,
Of course they are.
What
They're
are you on
filthy.
about?
They're filthy.
People have got clothes on.
Doesn't mean they don't wipe their asses with it.
Oh no.
You've been for a cheeky dip.
No.
It's moved a couple of years. We all know we might go out for a walk feeling one way. We come back because we've moved around. You go for a swim. You can't just pull the thing.
Have we got anyone else? Let's get to Eddie. Okay. Let's go to Eddie. Eddie, good evening. It's almost seamless, these links. This is like bloody carry on. Can you hear him? No. Is it bouncing? No. Eddie?
Are you sure you haven't broke this, James?
How could I break it?
Well, you broke that light.
Right. You just keep working on Eddie. Gas says there's nothing to say Potter was the freakin's choice. He fits the MO of Thelwell. Not been in the game for 20 months, but has Premier League experience. His win record isn't the best. If I was freaking, I'd genuinely listen to the suggestion and believe I could do better. Ped spoke a lot of wisdom earlier. Let's trust that something is happening in the background.
Wisdom, Jesus. About dry ropes.
It's 2025. Maybe there's a weird universe that I'm living in now where you can be wise when you're not spitting feathers. And
but I've just spat feathers about dry ropes, and I was spot on.
But I just leave that because
What? So you would happily put Zach in a dry rope?
No, who the
Got Eddie, sure. Oh, okay.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
You're right there.
Now,
Go on,
Ed.
Ed. Hear me now.
How are y'all doing?
Not
Be
too bad,
better,
mate.
to
Go
be
on.
fair.
Yeah.
But there you go.
So I have 3 quick things. So the first
Eddie,
one
can I
is...
ask you one question?
Yeah,
Has
go
it
for
snowed?
No, I live in Texas.
No, but I just wanted to check. You're below the snow line, aren't you then?
Yeah, well, it says that there's like a chance of snow tomorrow. But the last time it snowed was like 2 years ago. So,
And of course, you probably wouldn't get snow because there'd be so much hot air rising up from the Gulf of America, wouldn't there?
I thought you were going to say from Danford.
No, from the Gulf of America. Of course, it's been renamed the Gulf of America.
yeah. I truly don't know.
He renamed it yesterday, and he's also going to invade Greenland.
And Canada. He's trying to take Canada.
Invading them, he's just having them, isn't he?
Yeah, but you got to invade them.
51st, 52nd.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Fair play to him. Go on, mate.
Go on, mate.
Yeah, so the first thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen, I don't know how true it is, but Jose Mourinho is at least on the betting. It looks like he's next in line for the job. Do you guys not believe that that's real in any sense of the word?
I mean, I don't believe that it's not real, if that makes any sense. Listen, I think Mourinho, the links have been there since day one because a certain person keeps ringing up this show and demanding it to happen.
Yeah.
So therefore, no. Listen, he came in to Roma under the radar. No one had any sense that he was coming in. Roma fans loved it because, as they said at the time, they just ignored what had happened at Spurs. That just didn't happen as far as they were concerned, because it was they looked at it from the Inter days and what he did for Inter. Yeah, so they didn't worry about what he did in the Premier League. Came in, he won. There was immediate uplift. He won them trophies, but he left them loads of baggage, and the baggage was signing older players and spending money that they couldn't really spend because of PSR. Okay, they got them to the Europa League final, and they'd won that. Maybe things had been different because that would have put them in the Champions League. But then things started to go sour because they couldn't afford the players that he wanted, and eventually, as it always did with Mourinho, it went bad.
Yeah,
it goes good, but you know it's always going to end bad with Mourinho. Most of the time, he wins trophies, but it ends bad. Now he's in Turkey. He's not having a good time. He's said many a time, he's fighting. It's like he's fighting to get out of there. Yeah. He said he was probably going to end up at a lower down Premier League team, and I can believe that there are rumours about Mourinho. I just can't believe maybe that they'd want to deal with him again after everything that went on. But this is football, and who knows? Do I think he'd be good for us? he'd give us that initial lift where everyone would go, wow, look, Mourinho's back. He's at Everton. He hates Liverpool. So everyone would be like, he hates Liverpool. That's a good start. And he'd start saying mad things like, you know, Everton are the special ones of Liverpool or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. He would proper like lay it on. With the footy, he'd still be grim, but everyone would be like dazzled by Mourinho. And then I don't know. He's not a builder, is he? He'd want certain players who would all be about 28, 29. You know, and they're all they'd want long contracts, and the Freakins have been there before. They know that's not what they want to do, but he demand it. So if you're bringing him in, you've got to give him what he wants. That's part of the thing, isn't it? Part of the deal.
Yeah.
So I
don't think he was overly enamoured with what they give him when he was the manager.
Yeah.
And I think he'd made complaints about that and let it be known he wasn't happy with the players they signed, and he said a lot of things about them when he left. So
he's more trouble than he's worth by the sounds of it, for him to come here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's always been more. I don't know if he's always been trouble, but at the start of his career, since the start of his career, it's got increasingly more trouble, hasn't it? Than it's worth. So since the Chelsea days, and then Inter was obviously, I think he won the treble at Inter, didn't he? It was a massive peak for him. But ever since then, he's just, you know, we've seen the things he did at Real Madrid, against Barcelona when he was, and all that kind of thing. You know, he's never got on with Pep, so that's always been a big thing because he always thought he should be the Barcelona manager rather than Pep, and it's just got it just seems like he's got more and more bitter as his career's gone along, because where other people have sort of aged like a fine wine, he's aged like milk. Basically,
like the milk in that fridge.
No, he has though, hasn't he? Because he should be. Look at like Carlo Ancelotti. He has an aura and a presence about him that, like, he's a gentleman and he's classy, and there's just some, you know what I mean. Even if Real Madrid finished this season without winning a trophy, he'd get such a great send off if he left, and which he probably will. And he'd go off somewhere else. Look at him, them coming to us to take him showed how much presence he has. That's not going to... No, Real Madrid would never go back for Mourinho. No. And it's never, no matter what.
Should we go and get Xabi Alonso then?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
What about Christophe Galtier? He's a person who was of interest to Everton before. Done well with Lille, done all right with Nice.
Are you just throwing names out? Well, Eddie's still on the call here.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you asking me or asking Eddie? Because it's Eddie's call.
I'm asking Eddie.
Had you forgotten about Eddie?
Eddie was just quiet. I just wanted to keep him involved.
Well, the only other manager that I've seen like linked with, which is, I don't even think it was a real link, was David Ancelotti, his son of Carlo. But
yeah,
I don't think Everton would be a good first, like, a managerial appointment for him. So I don't think he would take the job.
He would have to come in the summer, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I think you'd have to
there's
give
too
him
much pressure.
the whole pre-season to sort of get to grips with things, even if he wanted it. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
So what do we do? What do we do for the last 5 months? Because 4 months even. Because I feel like the managers, it's done. This has sort of undermined him so much in the last couple of days as well. And his press conference yesterday told me more than ever that it was over. So what do you do? Would you get David Moyes, but then you'd have to give him 18 months? What do you do with it?
Yeah, that's the difficulty, because I'm on, like, I want Thomas Frank personally, but like he wouldn't leave Brentford at this point. So it's like I feel there's a lot more potential to get a good manager in the summer, and that's what I feel like TFG might be trying to do, but it's just very difficult where, like, when you have like Sean Dyche right now and he's like not been doing well and no one likes him, so it's like they're like, maybe their original thought would have, like, prior to like how like this meltdown has happened, would have been like to keep him through the season and then just let him go, and then they can go for whoever they really wanted to. But now they have all this pressure from like the fans, and just because the results have been poor and all that.
I was just going to say that this thing of, you know, it's not going to happen now because we're in too much of a mess. This thing of just leaving everything till the summer, to me, that's like massively risky. So I'm speaking to people who are working in it. It's a huge risk to change half a squad at least, bring in a whole new management team and move stadium in one summer. I don't understand how people think that's a good idea. I think it's massively risky. Honestly, there's a lot to do. Everton do things at a snail's pace anyway. Imagine trying to reshape a whole squad, bring a whole management team and get everyone over to... I just think that is a huge risk. But I'm not saying that isn't what they thought, but the which, mate?
That's where I thought they messed up. Well, not they messed up, but like just the fact that we were supposed to be bought this summer would have gave them the opportunity to fire Sean Dice. And then just because of that delay, like another 6 months pass and they can't do anything. I think kind of threw everyone through something. But outside of that, the other talking point I had is the only two players I've seen linked was Philogene and, well, not even Drewsbury Hall, but like he is an option. Would you take either of them? Like, I personally think Philogene would be a great player. I don't think Sean Dyche would play him personally, just because he doesn't look like he defends very well, and like he's more creative in attacking, where it would be too much risk for him to play in the eyes of the current manager. And then, I mean, Drewsbury Hall, I think, would be like a decent midfield option. He's more creative than what we have in the midfield, at least based off last year.
Well, Philigine's 15 appearances so far, no goals, no assists.
Seems like he fits.
But for a team that doesn't score. But last year in the Championship, he did get 12 goals. So he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's young and he can develop and he'd offer us something. But he's still not sort of like a really quick winger. And also, he likes playing off the left. It's another one of these players that we just would try to shoehorn in on the right. I don't know. It all feels like a muddle still. Whatever's gone. Maybe that's a recruitment team problem. Maybe we need to get someone in.
Maybe we're not. I mean, maybe we're just not really after him.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe we're just not really after him. So who knows? And obviously we'd have to buy whoever comes in because we haven't got any more domestic loans
for domestic side.
It would probably
it was a permanent deal, wasn't it?
So it's you'd have to be sure on them, wouldn't you? You'd have to be absolutely sure, and you'd have to.
I'd love Dewsbury Hall. I think he'd be brilliant.
Brilliant place to get. Well, it's a great place to get married.
But again, I don't know how much they'd want. And
West Ham being linked with him as well.
Potter wants him for West Ham, yeah.
So, I always feel like at this stage, it's like when January comes, you either get them first day of January or you get them the last week of January. I don't ever feel like there's any in between. Isn't it? It's the 3rd of February, isn't it? The window closes.
Is that how late it is this year?
So, hopefully it all coincides, and we get whoever we need to get at the right time.
Because it is kind of worrisome, just the lack of rumors out there for players, and I that might be in part with Thowell not caring anymore since he hasn't been guaranteed a contract. So he's like, if he might know he's on the way out, so he's not taking his job as seriously as he would otherwise. Or
I don't know. I still think he'd do his job to the best of his ability, to be fair. I wouldn't level that at anyone, Ed, because they've still got to do the business, haven't they?
That's
the next job.
They've got to prove to the next job, haven't they?
So he might.
That was about it for me.
Okay, mate.
Those two points.
Nice one, Ed.
Well, enjoy the snow.
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay safe, mate.
Bye, guys.
See you later, mate.
Johnny Be Good on the super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Says get Josie in. He'll sort things for 3 years while he's at Everton. Owners can better plan for a replacement. He'll bring passion. Would he last 3 years here? Don't know if he would. Sean Dyche is Everton's second longest serving manager after
Everton are turning into Squid Game. Like,
there's Moyes, Martinez,
it's just turning into Squid Game. Can you survive? Can you survive, Everton? It should be the new reality show. We could be just a reality show for managers.
Mourinho doesn't stay anywhere for 3 years, does he? He's an 18-month manager.
Well, maybe that's what we need.
I don't see them who are the way they are. No fuss, allegedly, and going back to someone who slated them publicly after they've sacked them. Macheri, I could see something mad like that, maybe, or if you were in Italy, I could see it. But I just don't see them going, because...
Is that the first thing we have to do? Right, we have to, because I think the first thing we have to do, and this might have already been done, is decide what we want. Do we want someone, again, and I'm not just an 18-month manager who gets us sorted for 18 months into where you know you're absolutely going to be fine, and then they know it's only 18 months, and then the second, the summer after the first season at the new ground, we make a long-term decision, and we're going for a long-term manager. Because if that's the case, then just bring me David Moyes. If that's the case, then just get us David Moyes and stop dicking about. If that's what you're going for, like if Mourinho was an option, then David Moyes would be my option. If you were going that route, if you were going after Mourinho, then just get me David Moyes. I'm a lot more comfortable with him than I am with Mourinho at this stage of his career. Because this is a guy who was in the Premier League 6 months ago, doing all right, not amazing, all right, and you might as well just get me in.
Think you'd do it for 6 months?
18 months.
18 months. I like David Moyes, but isn't it again just like a stick and plaster?
No, it is. But that's what I'm saying. If that's what you've decided, that for 18 months and you ain't getting any more, and we are well, let's be honest, this is what they've done with Roma right now. They brought Ranieri in. Ranieri's going to help them. Ranieri knows.
They thought Rossi was a long term.
No, I know, but they've messed about this season, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. What I'm saying is that they've made a decision. Ranieri's in charge. He's going to help them. He's going to help them pick the next manager. He's then going to take another role at the club. So they've obviously boxed him off because don't forget he came out of retirement. That's not quite where David Moyes is. And their decision will be made for the summer on a long-term manager. What I'm saying is I don't believe, there's anyone out there who could do this for 5 or 6 months with Everton. I just simply don't believe there's anyone out there. I do think Moyes for 18 months, if you are going to do that. But once that 18 months is over, you are bringing a long-term manager that you have decided on during those 18 months. Now, that could be, if you're living in fantasy land, that could be Lee Carsley working alongside David Moyes. And then, he becomes the manager afterwards. If you're living in a fantasy world, that's like sort of what you'd look at, isn't it? But if that's the route you're going down, and I'm not saying that should be the route, to me, it's just David Moyes. It's dead easy.
Okay.
Man City are buying 2 players, by the way.
Centre-back.
Omar Marmadouche.
Oh, Marmadouche.
Yeah, Marmadouche. And centre-back from Lens.
What's his name?
Kurunov.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of clubs are looking at him.
Well, yeah. There you go.
2 good signings.
Anyone else on the line? Get Gaz on right now. Also, before you get Gaz on, okay, just get Gaz on, forget about it. I'm not bothered, doesn't really matter. Get Gaz. Where is Gaz? I can't hear Gaz.
Yeah, right, can you hear me now, lads?
Oh, he's probably still at a Christmas market or something. No, when this fella.
Me?
What?
Not been anywhere near a Christmas market.
You have been near Christmas markets?
Right.
Weren't you at a Christmas market?
Obviously.
Weren't you on Christmas market on Christmas Eve?
Oh no, I went to Trafford Centre. There was a few there actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. See,
yeah.
see. Nothing gets past me, Gaz. Nothing gets past me.
Go on, Gaz. back to the reason why you called. Go on, mate.
Just a few things. Firstly, which is beyond me. Someone said everyone wants Dyche out. None of you lads, one of the callers. And obviously, you know what I feel. I do, but I'm gobsmacked how many people actually don't. I lost my head after the game on Saturday and put something on social media basically saying I think Dyche is a great manager if he won games, if he scored goals, if he had any text clubhouse, and if he weren't a knobhead, it'd be great. And I couldn't believe the amount of people who were actually backing him. I'd say it's probably only 25%. But for me, how do them people get up in the morning if they genuinely believe that this team is as good as it can be, and he's not the problem?
Yeah.
Because the only thing I'm clinging on to is if we get a new manager, things will get better. If people believe that these players are doing as well as they can and he is the best man for the job, then like I'm depressed enough already. God knows how they must feel. I just don't understand it at all, how anyone can possibly think that you're listing off names. I'm at the point now where it'd literally take almost anyone just to get the new manager bounce, because we're not getting out against Tottenham and Villa with him in charge at all. Not a
And then
chance.
we've got Brighton.
Nothing there. We might get a 0-0 or a 1-1, maybe, scoring a goal set piece, like Neil might be back. We may get a draw against them. But at least with a new manager, we may get a bounce, we may get something. Like I say, we're not going to win that FA Cup. This is horrible. I'm a blue and I shouldn't be saying it. But I kind of hope we go through, but we play absolutely garbage tomorrow and scrape it on pens or something.
That's part of the course,
just to
isn't it?
get rid of him. Just to get rid of him. Like I say, no, I never want us to lose. But I'm getting to the point now with him, if someone said, we need to lose the next game for him to be gone, I think the long-term interest of the club, we're better off losing it, because we're not going to win the FA Cup anyway. There's no way we can string together 5 wins or whatever it is that we need to win it. So, yeah, that's my first point anyway. Mr. Positive as always, but yeah, there's my first one.
You know,
what are your
the
thoughts?
way you feel. Nothing wrong with that, mate. That's the way you feel. So that's what it's here for you to talk, not for us. So go on. What's your next one?
Next one, I forgot now, because I just went off on a little tangent. No, oh, yeah. The thing about Ranieri as well, a bit gutted. Maybe if Roma wouldn't have got him for Roma, he could have done that job for us for a start, build into the stopgap. He's won the Premier League. He's better than Dyche, and if he's willing to take a 6-month contract, he likes it in England. He's got a base here, so he could have done that. But it's the thing with offering something upstairs afterwards. Is that not something we could do with Moyes? I.e., 6 months till the end of the season, and then a place on the board. We had Sharp on the board. Moyes has got the respect of 90% of the fan base. If you're after someone who's a club man, who's a person who the fans like, who can be a liaison between on the board rather than it being all outsiders and business people, because obviously you need the business people, you need all that. But I mean, an Everton person on that board, isn't that a job Moyes could do? And would that not be a way to tempt him to take the 6 months, as in 6 months, and then boom, there you go?
I suppose it's what he wants to do, though, isn't it? I still think he wants to be a manager. I still think he thinks he's still got something to offer. Now, obviously, if the offers aren't coming in for him, then it becomes harder all the time. So I suppose you've got to offer him something that is tempting. I think 18 months, he'd have to offer him 18 months, and then maybe something like that. Maybe, but I don't know. On the board, maybe something. I mean,
what about as a consultant? We've watched the German stuff.
Yeah.
What about that?
Maybe.
What are you talking about the board? What was Sharp's role on the board?
Oh, nothing.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, I know you are. I know you're not. And we all know what his role on the board was. It was nothing. Simple as that. It was another one of Ken Wright's fantasist things that. Yeah, it was nonsense. It was absolutely nonsense. Just a nonsense position. But whatever, you know what I mean? It was nothing. But it's not Graham Sharp's fault for taking the role, by the way. If someone said, do you want to be on the Everton board, you'd probably go, yeah. But it is what it is. But I think if to attempt someone like Moyes, that might have to be something in it. Be interesting to know what Ranieri's role is going to be at Roma once the season finishes, and what whether it's just an honorary role or whether he's actually going to be there helping with you. Because at the end of the day, that man's got so much experience. Then surely he's got, and that's what Moyes has got. He's got so much experience. Could he be a director of football? Well, no, I don't think he could, because I actually think
you need someone proven.
Well, I actually think that role's different from what he's talking about. Head of recruitment?
Possibly because he knows a player.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah,
And
it works for
have a
me.
network working under him, maybe.
Yeah.
Why not?
I
honestly don't know.
No, I don't.
I think he still thinks that he's got more in the tank as a coach.
Maybe this, because I actually think maybe he's waiting for the Scotland job.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But that's why Everton.
Or maybe someone offers Brendan Rodgers a job
and he goes
to Celtic. I think it's those two jobs that he'd probably be looking for, or Everton. Coming back to Everton. But I don't think 6 months would be enough. I really don't.
Well, he has come out, hasn't he, and said he doesn't want a job fighting relegation, and we certainly are.
He's also let it be known he'd take the Everton job as well. So,
like I said, I'd take anyone. Mourinho, I'm not his biggest fan, but again, if someone said he's negative, so the players wouldn't have to adapt much, but he's not as negative as that. Not that no one is. So at least you'd have something. And just again, for me, it's worth it just for that bounce, because if that bounce gets us 2 wins. That we wouldn't have got come the end of the season. I honestly think that could be the difference at the minute. We are on a very appropriate in this weather. You want to try walking on bloody crutches, but we're on a slippy slope at the minute. We are, and we're going to coast our way into relegation because we've got these apologists amongst the fan base, like you say, who genuinely think he's doing a good job. I've just no idea what planet these people are on. And it will come to the point, what you said, where it will start kicking off within the stadium.
No, I think it will. I really do. I think that's what happens. I mean, I've been going the match long enough to know that once people get pushed too far, then people start kicking off with each other. It happens at every single club, by the way. Happens at every club when there's a dispute. There's only one way it ends up. You know, and it's typically grown men throwing punches at each other at the match, and that's just fact. That's just fact.
I'm gobsmacked. There's been no outrage.
I know,
it shows he's got his apologists, because even the away fans, God, how they go down their hardcore home away doing what they do. I don't know how they do it. But you don't hear the dice outs chants and the boos and all that, which.
There's just been so much apathy, mate. You know, seeing that, Bournemouth, we've seen John Blame sending us videos over. You know, there's just pure, after the last game, the Forest game, just apathy. People just getting off now. People just getting off 10 minutes before the game finishes, leaving, massive, holes in the ground all over the place, and it's just apathy. But it will start, because this is the month now. This is where beforehand there was a feeling like nothing could change. Now there's a feeling like things could change, and if things don't change, that's when people get angry. When Managerial was the owner, people were like, nothing's going to happen. And that was it. Don't know why anyone expects this guy to be sacked. There's no one to sack him. Well, there's someone to sack him now, and that'll create more anger. And I think that's where the freaking group have got to be very careful, because if there's no leadership, fans will start jumping all over that, because it's hard.
And the apathy thing is 100% correct. And on a group on Facebook, which is for fans to try and get spur tickets home and away, and normally it's I need.
Yeah.
And lately it's, does anyone want to for this? Does anyone want to for that? And there's people, like I say, the amount of tickets that you see going up for Tottenham, for Villa, even away tickets, which is so hard to get normally. People are literally trying to get rid of them, which never happens.
That's
which is just mad. There's also another group head, because I know you're on Facebook, you might want to follow it. Dry road wankers, and what it is people spotting them in the wild and getting pictures of them. Yeah,
I'm all
get onto it on Facebook.
Them in the wild.
I'm all. Well, they're hard to spot because they're all camouflaged. I like that this is just not me. There's an actual community out there that understands the pain of the dry ropes. Honestly, there you go.
Oh yeah, there's like thousands of members on this group.
Yes, thousands of like-minded souls.
Struggle is real,
yeah. The struggle is real. Nice one, Gaz.
It's right, Gaz. Take care,
Nobody's lads.
Good luck on the streets.
Happy New Year, boys.
See you.
Happy New Year. Have a good one, mate.
Right,
it's better than last year for you. Take care, mate.
Go on, get Rich on. Go on. He'll be our last
final caller. Hello, Rich.
Hear me now.
Not worked once.
No, it is.
I know.
Hello?
But the link is not.
Go on, Rich.
Go ahead, Rich. Good evening. Happy New Year, mate.
And a Happy New Year to you too. Hopefully it will be. When we get through the rest of this month.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping for more than anything else, and I don't know about you, is just that the freaking group have got a plan.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to happen, hopefully they've got some idea now what is going to happen, and they're not just going to kind of make it up as they go along.
Mm-hmm.
So, if they know who they want to be, the manager, if they can't get them now, then they need obviously to make sure that there's a plan to get us through to the end of the season and then get the right person in at the start of next season. So, I mean, I don't know what you think, whether you kind of have any sense of, there is something bubbling behind the scenes, or whether you get any kind of, because I mean, we're not hearing anything, are we, in the media particularly? We're just kind of interpreting, his press conference and all the rest of it. So, don't know what you think, whether there is a plan or not.
I just don't think there's. I don't think there's anything to judge shit on. I don't think there's. Me and Baz were talking about this earlier as well. Of like, we don't know these people yet. We don't know. We're told they're very quiet and very secretive, and they don't. That's why I find the Potter stuff really interesting, and players we're being linked with and stuff like that. Where is it coming from? Where is it? These people are supposed to be very, very quiet. So I don't know if we've got a sense of who they are yet, other than what they've done at Roma, which is obviously can be interpreted in different ways. Some people will see it very negatively, and some people will look at like what they did sort of prior to this season. I think it's hard to get a sense, but I do believe that what we need is people to give us a sense, them to be at the club, boots on the ground, CEO, management positions, mid-management positions, actually starting to dictate where this football club's going to go, rather than leaving the people who've been in charge of this football club for the last few years steering us into this direction where we are now. We need people to really be telling us where we're going. And that starts with, an interview with Dan Friedkin or Mark Watts or whoever. It starts with the CEO. Where's the CEO? You've had 6 months. You knew you were going to be owning a club. You knew there was going to be no complications. So where's the CEO? Why weren't they here on day one? We've heard nothing from Colin John when he was the CEO before. Now we're going to hear nothing from him now, because he's not real in many ways. So we need to know what's going on. And you can't just come into a football. You can come into a football club and say we're going to be dead quiet, but you have to give us a little bit of something at the beginning so we understand the process. And this is like literally the worst month for it, isn't it? We're in a terrible state. We've got a manager will leave the club no matter what in the next 6 months. A director of football, nobody knows what's happening. Players out of contract, leaving our ground that we've been at for over 100 years. We're moving to a new ground, and it's all just up in the air. And we need a little bit of direction just for fans to go, that's where we're heading. Like you've just said, a plan. Tell us what the plan sort of consists of then, rather than we're going into that new ground and that's it. Like that can't just be a plan. There has to be some sense of knowing who these people are. Otherwise, it's all a mystery. And then what happens is, and we see this every day, the void that is filled by not talking gets filled by other people. Simple as that. All the mischief making that we see from all of these websites now and social media and stuff, it all gets filled, very, very quickly. And they have to fill that. They have to get that community, that message out to us. And it's so far they haven't done it.
No, and just moving into the new ground, that's not a plan, is it?
No.
Sorry, I just got a bit distracted there by Colin Chong isn't real.
Yeah, the AI.
But just going back to what Gaz was saying, just on another point about people back in Dyche. I had a little meltdown on social media. I don't normally go on social media, but I did have a little bit of a meltdown on social media on Saturday, and because I was thinking it's worse than 15 goals in 19 games because 10 of those goals came in 4 games. That means we scored 5 goals in 15 games. So I put that on social media and said, he's got to go. and so many people come back and say, "Oh, nobody else could do much better than this," nobody else could do any better than this. Kind of reminds me.
View.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and it kind of reminds me of Walter Smith. Those days when the wheels were coming off with Walter Smith, and obviously you had Bill Kenwright kind of, giving out all the narrative that, he was the greatest thing ever. And loads of fans were buying into that as well, saying, "Oh, we don't deserve to be in the Premier League. It's only because Walter Smith has kept us in." Kind of, it's the same sort of thing now. Clearly, almost anybody could be better.
I think, Rich, just on that, and I think this is what's changed, is that before the Forest game, there was a sense of, this guy will get us to the end of the season and it'll be crap, but he'll get us to the end of the season. I think after the Bournemouth game, for most people, that sense is gone now. I think most people now believe that they don't believe he'll get us to the end of the season. And I think that's what's fundamentally changed. It's those two games, people have just gone, we are in. And now that is because other teams like Ipswich have won games, haven't they? Ipswich.
Yeah, but they're always going to, though, aren't they?
No, I know. But I think that sense, that reality comes very present, doesn't it? Ipswich have took 4 points out of 2 very difficult games, and we've took none in that. And then suddenly you go, they're right behind us now. Palace have gone above us, haven't they? Wolves are very close to us now. So that reality has become very, very present very, very quickly in those last 2 games. And I think that's what's changed. This now people are going, this fella, I've felt this since November personally. This fella will not get us to the end of the season safe. We won't finish miles away. Now, it will be very, very close. And I think most people are just not willing to take that gamble now because it's not good enough. We will lose games 1-0, and you can't pat yourself on the back that you've only conceded 1 goal. Scoring goals is all it's about in the Premier League now. And that's it, isn't it? Top to bottom, Ipswich have scored 4 in their last 2 games, haven't they, and took 4 points because they've got a bit of bravery about them. And they're not relying on clean sheets. They've got 4 points out of the last 2 games. That's more. It took us. Yeah, you've got to obviously include Wolves in that. So that's the last.
We've won 1 in 11 games.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, he kind of treats goal scoring as a sort of luxury. It's like an optional extra. I think his fantasy season, Sean Dyche's fantasy season, would be 38 0-0 draws.
Yeah, 100%. Said it a few times. Yeah. That's he loves it. He loves it.
Yeah. But if Moyes comes in for 18 months, I agree with you that if he would only come in for 18 months. But if he does that, then that comes back to a plan for me. If he's the next step, then they have to know what the step is after that. Yeah.
No, you're right. That's a plan. If that's the plan, and the plan is only 18 months, and he moves on to another job within the club or outside the club or whatever, and then we will decide in that 18 months who our next manager will be, then that's a plan, and you go, sound. But if it's just, oh God, the house is burning down, what are we going to do? Grab the cat. Then that can't be the plan. It just can't be. No. It has to be something. You either go down that road or that road, but pick which one you're going to do rather than going, I don't know what I'm doing. So we'll wait and see. But they've got to make that. I'm hoping they're making that plan right now. But that's all I can do. That's all I can do at the moment is think that maybe that's the hold up in many ways.
Yeah, well, hopefully, but and also hopefully, Lopetegui getting the sack will, just bring that home to the Freakins that you've got to make things happen now.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, nice one, Rich.
Yeah.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you again
soon.
Ta-ra, Rich. Right,
go on.
We're finishing.
Comments.
Well, the poll, 741 votes so far, and 94% think that Everton need a new manager. So 6% voting for Sean Dyche. There you go. Fair play.
Cop-outs.
I mean, that's what the comments are in the thing. People don't agree. There you go. Gary Ward said Memphis is expecting 4 to 6 inches of snow tomorrow on Friday. And Brian Garside says we have snow. I feel like you'd expect it in Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
At this time.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
Be weird if there wasn't snow in Sweden, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Mm.
Be like there's a problem in it on the earth if there isn't snow in
many
Sweden.
people say there is a problem on the earth. So
and that's what I'm saying.
there you go. Yeah. A lot of people
but they also have a longer,
David Moyes for 18 months.
They also have a longer summer than anywhere else. Sweden, I believe.
There you go.
They're in the right place. Don't they get like an 8-month summer?
They love it.
Yeah, but you always think Sweden's like synonymous with snow, don't you? But they get like a 7-8 month summer.
That's because they just love the bit.
What do they love?
They love the summer, and then they go, you know what, let's do Christmas proper and have some snow
Have
as
a bit
well.
of reindeer
And then we'll go, right, bad enough now to get back to the sun.
I like that.
Swedes are doing
I'm
it
quite
right.
happy with that.
The Swedes are doing it right. Brian's walking around with a big starker on.
Yeah.
Right, we're done.
He's absolutely in the starker.
We'll be back tomorrow. We need to get out of here before Liverpool start.
They'll start going
and all that. There you go. Thanks to everyone who's called in. Thanks to everyone who voted in the poll. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take it easy. Bye.